May 14th, 2015, from the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. It was WWE SmackDown, and we had Kane versus Roman Reigns. And before the match, Kane was backstage making his way through the backstage area. We actually saw Adam Rose and the Rosebuds, and Adam Rose ended up beating up the hot dog because the hot dog wanted money, and then he ended up making out with Rosa Mendez, and Kane looked disgusted at this. So Kane came out in a bad mood for his match against Roman Reigns, and just as on Raw, Kane attacked Reigns before he could even get over the barrier. So Kane attacked Reigns, and this was kind of a layover from that match in Raw that never actually got started, but this match would get underway, although Kane had tossed Roman Reigns into the steel steps before the match started, and then he slid into the ring. The match did come to an actual start as they rang the bell. Roman Reigns was in there as well, and things got more hardcore as it was a no disqualification, no count out. They were outside the ring. They ended up beating on each other with a kendo stick. So Roman Reigns was just letting it fly. He was just lacing up Kane with the cane. And then, well, kendo stick Kane, same difference. And so then Kane ended up with it. He ended up beating on Roman Reigns with the cane. And then later on, Kane ended up tossing the top off the announcer's table. But then Roman Reigns hit him with a super punch, and then he did a drop kick right to Kane's face as he was like hunched over the table, but ended up hurting both men. So Roman, he was visibly looking hurt too, but he grabbed a couple of tables, he tossed the tables in the ring, he wedged one in the corner, but then Kane ended up taking control, and he set up the other table, and he choke slammed Roman Reigns through that table. His Reigns actually had been like kind of setting up for another Superman punch, but then he chokeslammed him through the table. Reigns ended up kicking out of the pin, and then Kane went for the tombstone, but Reigns was able to slip out of it, and then he got him with that Superman punch, and then he speared Kane through the other table he had set up in the corner earlier, and it was 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns wins. So he speared him through that table. It was pretty awesome. Roman Reigns got the victory and some momentum going into Payback for his fatal 4-way match against Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton. But after the match, they cut backstage, and the champ was being interviewed by Renee Young. But then Dean Ambrose came up behind him. He said, "Hey, you want a cookie?" He tossed the cookies at J&J, started beating on the champ. They were all going at it. But then the numbers got to him. But then here comes Roman Reigns, and he freaking had this thing. He like pushed it into freaking Noble, and they were all going at it. Dean and Roman ended up clearing house. The champ took off. So it was Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, and they were looking at each other dead in the eye, and then they looked at the ground, and they saw that Seth had left the belt behind. And so then Roman, he went to shake Dean Ambrose's hand, but Dean, instead of reaching, it looked like he was going to reach to shake his hand, but he reached down and he grabbed the WWE World Heavyweight title, but then he put it on Roman Reigns' shoulder, and then he patted his shoulder and he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to take it on Sunday." So then he left, and that's where they left it. So we got the Fatal 4-Way coming up at Payback May 17th on the WWE Network for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between the champion Seth Rollins as he defends it against not one, not two, but 3 challengers. The Viper, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, the Lunatic Fringe, and Roman Reigns. Believe that. So it's going to be quite the match, and it's anyone's guess who's going to win. It looked like Dean Ambrose was going in with a lot of momentum. Roman Reigns, though, here going in with a lot of momentum. It had seemed like Rollins actually had some momentum before this week, but it shifted in the favor of Ambrose and Reigns. But everybody's forgetting about the Apex Predator, the Viper, Randy Orton. It just might be his night. You never know. Especially with the Viper, is he's coming in under the radar, and you never can count him out. You never want to underestimate Randy Orton, because at any moment he can strike with the RKO out of nowhere. So it's gonna be one heck of a pay-per-view. I can't wait. Personally, I'm going for Dean, but either way, no matter what happens, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, Randy Orton winning would be pretty cool. Roman Reigns would be cool too. The crowd is definitely getting more behind him more and more. They were definitely going for him tonight in Indiana. And, of course, like I said, Ambrose, that would be like the best possible outcome. But even Rollins, that it would still, be all right if Rollins won. Because Rollins is pretty awesome in his own right in what he is. But of course, like I said, I'll be rooting for Dean Ambrose. And Kane, his job's going to be on the line because if Rollins doesn't win, then he will be Kane no more. He'll be DOO no more. He won't be Corporate Kane anymore. It might be the last we've seen of Corporate Kane, as Ambrose had stated earlier in the evening at the top of the show. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. As it's kind of hard to imagine that we wouldn't have Kane around, but of course he could go back to the big red monster and bring back the mask. That could happen. So we shall see what happens at Payback. It's going to be interesting for sure. Definitely cannot wait to see it. And I thought this was a pretty good, send off, go home show towards the pay per view. Thought they did a good job with Raw. I thought they did a good job here with SmackDown as well. So I actually think SmackDown's been getting a lot better. I wasn't really covering it so much before, but I've been covering it more because it's just getting better and better. I'm actually like really drawn into it. It's almost like Raw Part 2 more so than ever before. So it's like must see TV. They definitely hooked me in to SmackDown. That's how I feel anyway. It's like SmackDown's a lot better than it's been in a while, in my opinion. It just keeps getting better. So I think, it was a good show. That was a good send off. I thought it was a good match with Kane and Roman Reigns. And Kane definitely, he put Roman Reigns through one heck of a match. They were really going at it pretty hardcore. This was like ECW. So Roman Reigns, after wrestling this tough physical match against Kane, how is he going to be going into this fatal four-way match? Seems like he might be a little bit banged up after this one. But we'll see on Sunday if he can, carry it all the way to the gold. Or will it be the Lunatic Fringe or the Viper? Or will Seth Rollins, the future, will he hold on to the title? It's anyone's guess. I know I can't wait. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Let me know what you thought about this match between Roman Reigns